Hi, it's Melissa here, welcome back. Today I'm sharing a layout that I made for the Clique Kits and Just Knit blog hop that we heard earlier in the week, and I'm showing you some of the cut files that I used. And for this layout I used the Follow Your Heart cut file, and that's a quick look at my layout. So I had cut, I think, most of these cut files when I got my kit, and I had this one sitting on my desk. I just keep all my cut files together, and I decided to colour it with some gold acrylic paint. I got it a couple of weeks ago at a local stationery craft shop, and I just wanted to use it, and so I also coloured or painted some of the wood veneer that came with the kit. It's the Hot Mess kit, and it features Maggie Holmes's Shine collection, so it's really beautiful. And I wanted to challenge myself to scrapbook a boy photo, because this kit is predominantly girly, and I love girly, but I'm noticing that I'm not getting as many pages of Sam done. So here I added a second coat, and then I'm just using that spatula tool just to lift it off so it dried without sticking. Now, here's the part where I had to make a big call. I'm just showing you the papers that I think I'm using. And this black and white stripe, as you can see, is the B side of the cut apart sheet. And because I had a 6x6 paper pad, which you can get in the Clique Kit store as an add-on, I decided to be bold because I love that black and white stripe, and use it on this piece of white cardstock. I'd cut, if you'd seen my video with my mini album with the heart cut file, which is also from the Just Knit cut files, and I wanted to not waste that piece of white cardstock. I didn't want to cut it up either, so I just measured off with my finger to cover up the heart, and then I just glued down this piece of black and white stripe. And so I love that black and white stripe, as I've said. It's also got some text print on it, and I didn't feel bad at all. I mean, the 6x6 paper pad has the smaller version of the cut apart sheet, and you know what? Sometimes you just got to do what you think is right. So I got this acetate piece, and I remembered that I had to take off the protective covering. Now, it was quite a mission to get that off, but as you'll see later as we progress with this layout, I didn't take it off the other piece of acetate. But anyway, you can't tell, it's not a huge deal. So I've made what is kind of like a pocket, and I'm just tucking in some of the pieces of ephemera that I chose that weren't too super girly. I have got that heart that says I love you, but I think it's fine, it works. And I'm just showing you some of the papers that I pulled, and I'm wanting to layer some pattern behind my photo. So the photo is a close-up of Sam, I think about 4 or 5 years ago. I love his eyelashes, he gets heaps of comments on them, and they've been really long most of his life. When they're babies, I find it interesting. They have little tiny eyelashes, and as they grow and get older, the eyelashes grow in, and his just keep growing forever. So, of course, I had to take a photo close up, because if I were to do that now at the age he's at, he's nearly 9, he would likely pull a face and I wouldn't get this beautiful photo. It's an Instagram photo, so it has a filter. I took it, I mean, it's a few years old, so I can't even remember what kind of filter I put on it, but I love it, and it's the perfect, for me, it's the perfect photo that goes with the Follow Your Heart die cut. And so we were really, really blessed to have Nicole, who owns Just Knit, design these beautiful cut files that go with this kit. They're exclusive to Clique Kits, and the blog hop had about 9 of us, so several of us from, or not several, a few of us from Just Knit design team and Clique Kits, and I was really, really excited to be asked to participate in this. And I made another layout as well, and I'll show it at the end of this video. So now I'm just working out, I know I want these 2 papers to be my layers, but I had to work out which order to put them in, and in the end I wanted to have the blue around the photo and provide a bit of separation between the photo and all the other bits and pieces. So I'd also cut a piece of that speciality acetate, and it's got colourful circles and some of them are glittered. And I already used a piece, or I'd cut the heart out of that acetate already, so I don't have a full sheet, and I'm just pushing myself to use it up because once again it's a piece that I'm likely to hoard. So I have adhered all these pieces of ephemera lightly with just some tape runner, and now I'm showing you how I'm adhering the piece of acetate. I'm using double-sided tape underneath the piece of it that's under the pattern paper, and then I took it over to my sewing machine and just stitched along that line, and I love the way it looks. So I added some teal colour shine, and as you can see, I don't know how that happened, but probably I'm just really clumsy with this injured wrist of mine, and anyway it happened, so I'm going to work with it and you'll see how I cover it up and incorporate it into my design. So I'm doing one of my favourite techniques, which is to use up the negative piece of chipboard that you get left over from 12 by 12 chipboard sheets, and it provides some good dimension. Now I've used Tombow Mono Multi, which I got from the Clique Kit store, and yes, I'm using a stapler and a measuring jug to anchor it down because, you know, everyone has a measuring jug on their craft table. Brielle had put some Lego in it and brought it in, and for some reason it was on my table, so hey, why not use it? So I'm just covering this poured out ink by, I splattered a bit more, and now I'm just covering it with bits and pieces of ephemera, and if you didn't see this video, you wouldn't even know that it happened. And so I love the challenge of working a mistake into my design, and if it wasn't for the ink splatter, I don't think I would have even thought to put a cluster bottom centre. So I'm really happy with how this turns out, and I think it's definitely a save and definitely not a fail. So I'm just trimming the excess, and you can see the back of the heart there where it was cut. And I always keep putting my title back because that's the position that I want it in. So now I'm looking at these wood grain pieces that I've painted gold as well, and I'm loving how they're looking. I'm wanting a bit of gold in each of the areas of embellishment. And here I'm just having a play with the acetate piece. So I don't show you because I'm really awkward with this brace that has to be on my wrist, and I just used Tombow to adhere my title, and it would have been a bit painful for you to watch me struggle. Feel really uncoordinated with it. I hurt my wrist on the trampoline. Funny story, but our trampoline has run out of a few springs, and the kids jump on it, and I love jumping on it. And I went to jump on it, and as I jumped on, a spring came off, and it whacked my wrist. Well, it whacked my thumb, but as a result of that, I have injured the joints, or little tiny joints on my wrist. They're inflamed. So I have to wear this brace for another week, and I'm hoping and praying that it gets better. So yeah, not ideal in the hottest heat of summer. Last week I went back to ballet class and had to do it with the brace on, which is interesting. Anyway, back to the layout. So I put that banner at the top, and then I think the little sticker says loved. I can't quite see it. But I do love that I put that word sticker on there because otherwise I feel the banner just looked like it was floating. Even though it's tucked under my layers, it's a bit random and didn't really link in. So I needed something at the top, and I love this little sticker banner, so I've added that in. And I think I'm nearly there with this layout. So I looked at the chipboard sheet to see if I could add anything in, and I found a little heart. I didn't want to overdo it and be too lovey. I didn't want this to head in a girly kind of way for a layout because it is about Sam. And then of course I always have to add some twine to my tags. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you'll know that I can't handle a tag without twine, so I just added them in. Yeah, once again awkward because of the brace. But I find if I take the brace off, I've got to take it off and do exercises. If I take it off for too long, because my wrist has been in this position for nearly 2 weeks now. I feel like, not that it's weak, but it's meant to be resting, so I don't feel that strong without the brace on. So I added a little 4-leaf clover under my journaling, and I'm not big on the whole lucky thing. I'd be more likely to say blessed, but a lot of people would always say to us, "You're so lucky he's got such long eyelashes." So when I look at that 4-leaf clover, it just makes me think of that. And adding a little bit more gold in, a little gold plus sign, a little star in the kind of teal colour. And there I was just checking to see whether I was going to sew around the edge, and I decided no. So now I'm looking at the sticker sheet and seeing if there's anything else I want to add. And I'm adding a little sticker at the bottom. And I think it really needed it. It needed a little bit of black on that cluster just to draw the layout together. Okay, and I have a little secret. When I don't know the date that I took a photo, I go back to my Instagram and it tells you how many weeks are on there. So I just type into Google how many weeks what was the date so many weeks ago, and it will tell me. And I don't go off that date, but I definitely go off the month. And that's how I add the date when I'm really not sure the day I took the photo. So that is my final layout. I hope you enjoyed it. And coming up is the other layout that I made. I used the heart cut file and I replicated it and changed the sizes and made sure I joined the hearts together. And then I just poked holes with a paper piercer and I stitched to make them look like string hearts. And it took me hours and hours, but I love how it turned out. And then I just kept my embellishment really simple to not take away from the stitching and the photo, of course. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.